Darren Till has just knocked out Luke Rockhold in the third round. And yes, brutal stuff by Darren Till. Luke Rockhold was looking long. He was looking good. He was looking good behind the lead hand in those first like 2.5 minutes of that first round. He was. I was thinking, all right, this could go the distance here. It's only a 6 round fight. But no, Darren Till just blasted him. 30 seconds left, like 15 seconds left in that first round. Till just blasted a massive left hand. Just cut Luke Rockhold. Caught him flush and dropped him in that first round. And Luke Rockhold was everywhere. Went back to trying to walk back to Darren Till's corner. Till had to. It looked like he was trying to guide him back to his own bloody corner as well. At a point, it was a brutal shot by Darren Till. It just took everything out of Luke Rockhold there. Honestly, brutal stuff from Darren Till. Second round again. Was it a knockdown when Darren Till was getting him? Darren Till had him on the ropes. Very nice 1-2 down the pipe that he was landing. Mixing up his shots fairly well, measuring the distance well. It looked like one of Rockhold's hand at least touched down. I'm not 100% sure, but either way, it should have at least been the standing eight because they were bloody doing those all bloody night, weren't they? Jesus Christ, especially during that Joey Essex Numero fight, which last night got on to because that was painful. But yeah, then in the third round, as described on Twitter, murder scene, honestly. Brutal KO that Darren Till landed there on Luke Rockhold. Honestly, absolutely murder scene. What a knockout it was by Darren Till, catching Luke Rockhold flush right on the chin. Yeah, look, I think the thing that's got to be said. Darren Till, 100% the best crossover MMA boxer. 100%. He's the best MMA fighter to cross over to boxing. Technical boxing wise, without a shadow of a doubt, he is. He looks like a very good solid boxer overall. Very good fundamentals. I get what the hype was about. There were many trainers there, many pundits there, many guys on social media saying how good Darren Till was, and how well. I mean, I already know how good he was, like in MMA striking wise, but coming over to boxing wise, training with guys around the sport of boxing, saying how good he was, and again, he really has been showing it boxing wise, and again, boxing is very different from striking. We knew how good Darren Till was on the feet in MMA, but boxing wise, he's improving all the time, and he is looking very, very, very good right now. Okay. Things to talk about after that fight are Darren Till calling out Carl Froch afterwards. Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff, to say the least. Carl Froch then just walked off afterwards. Okay. Then Darren Till and Jake Paul. What happens there? Again, I think Darren Till's got arguably much better boxing technique than what Jake Paul's got. I do. I honestly think he does. I think, I think he has a much better shot selection. I think I think his punch flow in general is much better than what Jake Paul's is. I feel like his composure in the ring is much better than what Jake Paul's is. I think, the southpaw advantage that Darren Till has really helps him out as well. The lead hand feints are much better. He just looks so much more fluid and lighter on the balls of his feet, Darren Till, than what Jake Paul does. I think Darren Till's definitely got better boxing ability than Jake Paul, and I feel like if they fought, I would probably pick Darren Till to win. I feel like he's different to a lot of these MMA guys who have crossed over. 100% he is. 100%. He's not Nate Diaz. He's not. He's not Ben Askren. He's not Tyron Woodley. He's not Anderson Silva. He's got much better boxing ability than what all of those guys have. 100%. And but by quite a bit. By a lot. By a lot. By a country mile, actually. Darren Till has got better boxing ability than what those guys have. So, yeah. Till's dangerous for around that level. And I feel like a fight with Darren Till and Carl Froch It shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen. I see why Till wants it, but I don't. But why is he calling out an old retired boxer? I mean, again, yeah, I think he knows his level. I feel like he knows his level, and I feel like at this point, let's be real, Till would probably beat Carl Froch because Carl Froch is about 48 years old, and age is a massive factor in combat sports, and I feel like that's something that not enough people can get into their heads. Age is a big factor. Till's like 32, 33. He's still a young guy at the end of the day. He's much younger than Carl Froch. I feel like it'd be a very bad idea for Carl Froch to go in there with Till. Southpaw, got a good backhand, got good power. You know, I don't want to see Carl Froch risk his legacy like that. I mean, we all know Prime Carl Froch would batter Till inside a round, but it's different now. It's different now, and I don't want to see that happen. I don't. But Darren Till versus Jake Paul, sign me up. Would that ever happen? Probably not, but sign me up. Yeah, Till versus KSI wouldn't happen. As much as people call for it, it wouldn't happen. Um, I don't really know who would be next for Darren Till. I really don't. It won't be Carl Froch. That fight's not gonna happen. It won't be KSI. Weight wise, it's just not gonna. It's just not gonna happen. I don't know. I really don't know what's next for Till. I feel like Misfits are managing him pretty well right now, but I want to see it with someone who has boxed before, like Misfits wise, just in general. Someone who has boxed before, because Luke Rockhold came into the fight, hadn't boxed before. He fought Darren Stewart, hadn't boxed before. Anthony Taylor, yes, he boxed before, but he was much smaller than Darren Till. But you can already tell by Till's skills and his skill set in general that he is the best MMA fighter to cross over to boxing, without a shadow of a doubt. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and I'll speak to you all in the next one.